little success. We have more available to us, and people are hurting more deeply than they've ever hurt in the history of our country. Why? I'd like to propose that maybe part of the reason is that the great majority of our therapy and our drugs and our treatments are geared toward alleviating the pain of our symptoms rather than geared toward healing the wounds of our heart. And that we can drug ourselves and blame our parents and go through therapy and talk to one another and do all kind of gymnastics in order to help us cope with the pain that we feel and never have the courage to look square at where the real pain comes from and get some healing. In fact, I think most of us, even believers in Jesus Christ, would have to admit when things are really desperate emotionally, we often run to the nearest informal or formal counselor. For some, it's a call on the phone. For others, it's meeting with a best friend. For others, it's calling your therapist. But our tendency is to run there before we run to the counselor, the one who knows our past, who knows our heart, and has all this power to heal. Now, I would totally agree. My background is in psychology, both in the undergraduate and graduate work. And so I understand and believe in the proper use of counseling, treatment, support groups, and even drug therapy under proper care in significant situations where people need to be stabilized in order to deal with root issues. I think much of what we have is tremendous. But my premise tonight is that we jump to man-made means of coping way before we try a God-made means for healing. And tonight I want to look at God's prescription for healing your emotions. God's prescription is found in James chapter 5 and verse 13. It's so simple, it's scary. It's so simple that the danger is to look at it, read over it, and say, oh, that's simplistic. James is going to look at our emotional health, and he's going to say, if you have a problem, if it's negative, here's what to do. If you're feeling good and happy, here's what to do. James chapter 5, the first half, for emotional distress, God's prescription, His RX, is that we should pray. Novel idea, huh? He says, come and talk to me about it. Is anyone among you troubled? Notice, it's any individual among you. Are they troubled? It's let him pray. The tense of the verb here is a command. It means keep on praying. The NIV translates it, he should pray. The word for troubled here means afflicted, suffering, enduring hardship, misfortune of any kind. And the context and the study of the word has the idea that it's the emotional baggage that happens, whether it's a bad circumstance or a bad day or struggling with depression. It's a real generic word. It has to do with, are you troubled? Are you emotionally troubled? If you're troubled, he says, pray. Then he flips it over for emotional delight. He says, is anyone happy? The word doesn't mean, light or boisterous behavior, but it's an inner attitude of joy and elation. You know those times, even in the midst of adversity, it can happen, where there's a sense of joy and happiness and you're glad to be alive and you see life through a proper perspective. What do? He says, let him sing songs of praise. Notice it's individual. Doesn't say go to church and sing with other people. He says, let him, singular, let her. There's certain times when there is joy in our life that rather than just saying, oh yeah, well, boy, this is good, or zooming on with some energy, God says we should specifically sing individual songs to Him. When's the last time you sang alone to God? Can you remember? Have you ever wondered that? Have you ever thought? 41 times we're commanded in the Psalms to sing to God. Now, turn the page, if you will, because the question that I hope some of you are asking is, at least in your heart, if it hasn't made it to your mind, is, Chip, okay, I know that we should pray. I believe in God. I know if I'm a Christian and I believe in God, and God's in heaven with all this power, and I'm on earth with all this pain, obviously there needs to be a little connection to get that power and that compassion down here into my pain, and the Bible says prayer is the way to get there. Okay. I buy that.